Okay, so here's some concepts dealing with just basically trying to translate some of the fiddle ideas, especially 50s players such as Benny Sims, Benny Martin, Art Wooten, and all those guys that kind of went around the circle of the Flat and Scruggs band are highly influential as far as fiddle playing to me in the world of bluegrass. And there's a lot of things that mandolin players can kind of steal from them, and to put in their own repertoire. Even though we're playing with obviously a different style of attack, pick versus the bow, shuffle versus the alternate picking thing. But these are some kind of concepts that we can kind of take into account when we're trying to play tunes like say we're playing Shuckin' the Corn, or that's a very famous banjo tune that you'll likely encounter in jam sessions. So I'm going to show you some few ideas that these guys would play over some kind of changes like that. So first of all, when you're playing Shuckin' the Corn, that's a simple 1-4-5 progression, usually always in G. And a lot of times what they would do is play little melodies out of double stop shapes. So say if you're on the 1 chord, this is a good double stop to play. Your third finger is on the 5th fret of the 2nd string. Your middle finger is on the 3rd fret of the 1st string. And what you kind of do, these guys would do, is play a shuffle rhythm on this double stop. Done. Okay, so what I'm doing there is I got this shuffle done, and there's a little walk up to the home note of G, and that's going to place it right on the downbeat of 1. 1. Okay, so it's kind of imperative that you feel where the downbeats are with the style. That way you can get away with a lot more improvisational things, just merely because you're aware of where the time is. So again, I'm using a double stop. Bum, bum. Okay, kind of Monroe-esque there. What I'm doing here is just, instead of kind of going down the G major scale, I'm sliding down certain notes. Doubling some others, that's coming from my background playing a lot of Monroe style music where he's doubling notes on the mandolin. Fiddle players don't necessarily are doing that. They might be playing a little bit more linear, but you can kind of keep your phrasing going, for in other words, with just constant pick attack. In other words, I'm not stopping. Instead of going, and again, I'm just kind of dragging my fingers through that position. 1. Okay, so a lot there. Let me just kind of diagram what I'm doing. So on the 4 chord, the C chord, a lot of times what they would play is something based off this double stop. In other words, we have a 5th fret on your 3rd string. We have a 3rd fret on your 2nd string. That's what you're playing over the 4 chord. Now, a lot of times what these guys would do, they have the flat 7, which is B flat in relation to C. So they're gonna kind of play with this color. So in other words, they're playing off this kind of blues tinge. Okay, so I have my 3rd finger still down here, and I'm playing on and off that 7th. Okay, so I'm thinking of this as just kind of a double stop shape. You can get a C there, and you can get the flat 7, like that. Makes you kind of rocking the pick. Okay. Now it's essential that you know where the downbeat is, because again, on beat 1 coming up, I want to hit this note. This is not essential, but something that's very, very common in this music. So the downbeat is going to be on a G. Well, let me show you what I'm speaking of. So I nail that right when that chord change happens. There's thousands of ways you can do that. You can approach it single notes. You know, just as long as that note's well defined on the downbeat of the chord change. That's what you're looking for. Let me kind of play up to that point so far. So it starts in the beginning with the double stop. Right there is just a simple little turnaround lick, something that we're going to play all the time when we're playing in the key of G. If I can remember correctly, this is what I did. If you want to play it slower. A lot of blues notes in there, okay? So we got a G, an open D, E, F, E, D. Then here's a critical part of this. You're sliding from the 3rd fret to the 4th fret. Then your open G. Okay? So that just kind of finishes the statement on the low end. And again, there's lots of variations of these. Don't get stuck into one. Get stuck into more of the construction of it than anything. That's one. There's hundreds of these things, but again, the idea is that we're going to hammer in home that G on the downbeat. Let me show you again, and I'll accent the parts a little bit more so you can hear where I'm coming from. Okay, what I'm doing there is a kind of a famous little run I'm stealing from Bill Monroe, but again, you guys can put this into just about any tune. What it is if you guys know your arpeggios, this is a good way to kind of outline them. I'm just playing a D note, F sharp note, and walking down to that C note. Up with a G note run. Okay, kind of a little bit more of an abstract concept, but it's used in Mule Skinner blues. It's a standard fiddle lick. Listening to that stuff a lot of times, you'll get those kind of concepts. So let me play through again the whole solo. And again, this is off the cuff. I'm probably playing it a little bit differently every time, but the idea is to kind of get you guys thinking in small little phrase groupings and hearing it in your head before you play it. That's a big part of this too. In other words, on a good day, I'm hearing this stuff in my head milliseconds before I execute it with my hand, because I've kind of listened to this style a lot. And it's consisting of double stops, right? Some blues notes, structured phrasing, and also the thing that's most difficult to describe is kind of playing ahead. This is what guys would do a lot of times in that style, is slightly be on the next chord before it actually happens. guys like Bill Monroe, Benny Martin are great examples for that. Even modern fiddle players like who's a guy from Del McCurry's band, Jason Carter. He does that a lot when he's playing, you know, old time straight ahead bluegrass stuff where he's anticipating the chord before it happens. Let me give you an example of that, maybe if I'm not rambling too much here. So what I did there, it's a simple little idea. It's just playing a C arpeggio, but I'm actually on that part before it actually the downbeat happens. Dun, one. So right on that downbeat, I'm playing that E note. Okay. So again, this is all in kind of open position, just some basic kind of phrasing that you would use over a tune in the key of G. Banjo tunes are kind of infamously short, at least in this style. When I'm talking about Scruggs banjo tunes, they're real kind of vaguish as far as the melodies are concerned. So a lot of times what you want to do as a mandolin player is really graft onto those classic solos by the fiddle players in those groups. And that'll give you kind of a good idea of where to kind of approach this stuff, and just instead of playing, okay, here's a G major scale, just go for it. So if you're playing shuck in the corn, try to use some of these concepts again. It'll help you out with your confidence in the mandolin, and especially with the timing. If you can learn to kind of feel where that downbeat is, that's, I think, the most critical part. So let me just, again, playing the solo off the cuff. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Again, a little sloppy, but that's, you know, early in the morning. Apologize, guys. Get more coffee in me as I go. And again, just having fun with it, but again, feeling secure as I know where the downbeats are. I have the tune in my head, and I have enough vocabulary to kind of process this stuff moving forward. That's the idea. Okay, so this is all stuff you can kind of listen to, but these days I like to listen to them on records. That way I have a little, developing my attention span a little bit longer, as opposed to just rewind on a computer or something of that sort. But if you'd like to kind of have more of these concepts, I'm happy to give lessons in this style. Again, my name is Andy Navarra. You can check me out through my website, NavarraAndyMusic.com, or the St. Louis Folk School. That's where I kind of teach lessons at and kind of work with students of all types, beginners through advanced. And this is the stuff I really like to play, and I love to teach as well. So give me a shout if you guys are interested. And I hope this helps. Shoot me any questions you like, and we'll see you again with another one of these. Bye-bye.